Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Shedeur Sanders sends Giants new not-so-subtle draft warning. After visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers on April 10, Shedeur Sanders once again left the New York Giants, and any other quarterback-needy franchise, with an eerie warning ahead of the 2025 NFL Draft. That's on the people. That's on the other franchises that make that mistake and let me go there, Sanders told NFL host and reporter Kay Adams after she asked him if he should be allowed to go to a 10-win team like the Steelers. We just talked to Shedeur Sanders at the Pittsburgh airport. Everything you need to know about his visit with the Steelers. At Haiku Dams, at Shedeur Sanders also rated his meeting with the Steelers as a 10 out of 10. Noting that head coach Mike Tomlin's mentality reminds him of his father Deion Sanders. I understand Tomlin's mindset and why the Steelers win a lot, Sanders said, explaining just how Tomlin is as a person, and the value that the team has in what he preaches from his staff down is similar to like my dad. Obviously, in Sanders' eyes, he and Pittsburgh hit it off. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he'll don the black and gold in a few weeks, but it does serve as a not-so-subtle reminder. If the Giants, or any other team without a QB, passes on Sanders and he turns into a franchise signal caller that builds a winning culture, they'll have to live with the fact that they had the opportunity to pick him. The Giants and Cleveland Browns, most of all, have that opportunity at number 2 and number 3 overall. And Sanders doesn't seem likely to let them forget that if they're wrong. If you've been following Sanders this offseason, you're probably well aware that he's made a couple of statements like this. All I need is an opportunity. Simple, Sanders told ex-NFL DB Louis Riddick after his pro day. Whatever franchise want to change they franchise, then it's no doubt who to go with. I've done it, over and over and over. So, you'd be a fool not to pick me. Earlier, at the NFL Combine, Sanders also stated, if you ain't trying to change the franchise or the culture, don't pick me. You should know history repeats itself over and over and over, and I've done it over and over and over, so, there should be no question why NFL franchises should pick me. Similar to his father, Sanders is known for his confidence. He speaks his mind and doesn't shy away from the spotlight or the moment. That could be looked at as a negative to some, but others will no doubt see it as a strength. More than any other position in sports, quarterbacks must be supremely confident in themselves. Now, you need to back that confidence up with winning football, but when it all comes together, that's when you uncover the type of leader that a locker room can rally around. That's not to say Sanders is that QB, but he has been that at the collegiate level. Clearly, he thinks he can provide the same spark inside an NFL organization. The Giants' draft rumors have been all over the map this offseason. Before the season even ended, the talk of the town was Cam Ward or Sanders. Then, after Drew Lock helped NYG lose the number 1 pick, it became months of Sanders to New York hype. In fact, the major fear at that stage, from beat reporters and analysts, was that Sanders might not make it to number 3. Oh, how the times have changed. As of April 11th, several events have led many to believe that the Giants are out on Sanders, or any quarterback, with their top 3 selection. First, Big Blue pursued a multi-season marriage with Matthew Stafford. Then they pivoted to Aaron Rodgers, then Jameis Winston, then Russell Wilson. At one point, it felt like NYG was willing to take any quarterback with a pulse over the idea of handing the keys over to a rookie QB from this 2025 class. That doesn't mean they hate Sanders as a prospect, but it certainly implies they don't love him. If you need an example of loving a prospect, just look at what the Tennessee Titans have done at quarterback this offseason. Finally, in recent weeks, NFL insiders have begun to report a shift in the Giants' draft plans, with the front office likely targeting either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. The NYG offseason, from start to finish, has been a true roller coaster ride. And if Sanders does wind up with the G-Men, you have to at least tip your cap to General Manager Joe Schoen for one heck of a smokescreen. 2025 NFL Draft, 3 best fits for Pittsburgh Steelers in first round. The Steelers own the number 21 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. What might they do with it? Here are the 3 best fits for Pittsburgh in the first round. DT Derek Harmon, Oregon-Michigan's Kenneth Grant would also be a great fit, but there is a great chance he will be gone when the Steelers are on the clock. Even if Grant is off the board, Harmon would be an excellent pick to add to a defensive tackle room that needs to be reshured, as veteran Cam Hayward will be 36 this upcoming season. In a way, Harmon is stylistically similar to Hayward. The former Oregon product is a disruptive player who uses his size, length, strength, and quickness to get into the backfield. He possesses the versatility to play up and down the line during his rookie season while learning under Hayward before taking on a full-time role. RB Amari in Hampton, North Carolina. Najee Harris signed with the Chargers in free agency. The Steelers signed Kenneth Gainwell, but they still could use a more talented back to create a solid 1-2 punch with Jaylen Warren. Hampton is a back with a hard-running style between the tackles who makes defenders pay when they try to bring him down. He would be a nice addition to offensive coordinator Arthur Smith's system, which consistently had some of the league's best rushing attacks while he was with the Falcons and Titans. QB Jackson Dart, Ole Miss. The Steelers could still sign Aaron Rodgers, but that shouldn't stop them from building for the future. Pittsburgh has been linked to multiple quarterback prospects, including Colorado's Shedeur Sanders. But purely from a scheme standpoint, Dart fits the best. Dart comes from a play-action system at Ole Miss, number 1 in passing EPA per drop back in 2024, which Smith's offense heavily incorporates. Dart has the required skill set to be a starting NFL QB, possessing good accuracy, arm strength from different arm angles, and mobility to serve as a threat on the ground. Deion Sanders makes encouraging statement for Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are still without a strong option at the quarterback position heading into the coming season, and their options continue to wane. With the Aaron Rodgers saga continuing to carry on, the Steelers have begun to seriously pursue other options at the position. One such option is Shedeur Sanders, whose draft stock has seemed to vary wildly in recent weeks. Some members of the media believe that Sanders could fall as far as the Steelers' pick at number 21, far from the top 5 conversation that has dominated his headlines. Yet, a recent interview with Shedeur's father and former coach Deion Sanders has provided some encouragement to those who would like Sanders to land with the Steelers. In an interview with Yahoo Sports, Deion spoke on how he viewed the front offices of teams that seem to consistently find themselves among the top picks of the draft, and how those would be less desirable destinations for his son. The front offices are consistently bad, Sanders said. When they make not intelligent moves. When they find themselves in this place of picking early every year. And you have an opportunity to provoke change, and you don't when the opportunity is laying right there before you. This helps an already growing chance that Sanders could end up as the quarterback of the future for the Steelers. Sanders officially visited the Steelers earlier this week, making the case for him as a possible option grow further. Now, according to his father, it seems that Sanders would rather not play for teams towards the top of the draft. It is too early to call, but it seems that Sanders would prefer a team like the Steelers over teams such as the New Orleans Saints and New York Giants. And you fan? What do you think about Deion Sanders' situation? Write to us in the comments.